So different setting today. Lounging in the hammock chair under the black walnut, kind of in the dappled light of a Saturday afternoon. Had market this morning, super rainy, kind of crappy, but the day it has turned out to be beautiful. And I thought, well, I might as well do a summer recap because I just haven't had the energy or the time to make a video. I haven't had the energy or time to like make a decent meal for me every day. It's like chips and cheese and whatever. So today I'm taking the time. So a couple projects and things that have been going on to keep me kind of busy. I planted a garden this year and I requested a space where I could try just different seeds and plant starts like in cell packs that you get at the nursery, and flowers and vegetables. And I wanted to be able to see what worked really well, what responded well to compost, what responded well to frass. And there were some interesting things. And so if you will spin this way, there's the black walnut tree. So yeah, back there you can see, there, garden. So this was the site of my Graham's garden years and years ago, and so she and I'll do a little more detailed video on this, but so she had a garden here years and years ago, and this is kind of an homage to that. And I think it's been really wonderful and really pretty, and I learned some things. So I'll do a longer tour video on that. So that's kept me busy. That all went in the ground June 2nd, something like that. So it's been a pretty hardy growing season I have growing out here. And then also growing here on the farm, let's see. So in this space up here. So last year we had some potatoes up here, if you remember the potato video. Up here now we have growing, and should be pulled soon, flax. Flax to be harvested for linen, so flax for fiber, not granola, not for your muffins, but flax to wear on your body, essentially. And so how did I get into that, you might ask? Well, so I went to the PASA conference this past winter down in Lancaster, and there was a presentation that kind of piqued my interest about growing flax in PA. And these two women, Emma and Heidi, they haven't been growing flax for very long, honestly, but they have formed the PA Flax Project, and they got a pretty hardy grant from the USDA to grow flax domestically, because as of now it's really not there's not a good source for flax for linen. Okay, Reba, I know there's no good source for flax for linen domestically. So France, Belgium really is the only place that it comes out of, and they want to change that. This is kind of a response to the whole fast fashion monster that has become cheap clothing that wears out really quickly, made by very questionable labor practices. It's just very environmentally not sound, and it's just not a socially conscious way to make clothes. And thinking of what you wear as so disposable is so toxic. It's toxic on a lot of levels, and it just feeds consumerism. And we could go down this whole rabbit hole, but what they are trying to do with the PA Flax Project is not only grow flax domestically, but do it organically, and also in a way that provides for the farmer. Because right now the farmer is is not paid what they are supposed to be paid or what they should be paid. It is it's not farmer conscious. So with the approach that they're taking, the farmer is forefront. Their wants and needs will be tended to, essentially. And I think that needs to shift. I think that is the shift that needs to happen. So I would love to be part of that. I would love to help out with that. So when they said, if you have land, if you are interested in growing flax, please let us know. So I emailed them and they sent us the seed, and we got it in the ground over here end of May, I think. So, and it germinated within like 3 days. It was really fast. It gets the prettiest little blue flowers, and they're so fleeting. Like they bloom like in the morning, like around 7-8 in the morning, and by 1 o'clock in the afternoon they're gone. Like the petals just fall and they're gone. It's very fleeting. But so pretty. So pretty. And then along those lines, I had been connected with an entomologist out of the University of Delaware, and we had exchanged emails, and he said, hey, I have this student who's really interested in what you're doing as far as like taking food or wasted food and upcycling it. And, would you be willing to have a conversation with the three of us and kind of put our heads together with how we could potentially work together? I thought that'd be fantastic. So what we ended up doing was applying for a grant, a specialty crop block grant, I think, and we got the doggone thing. We got that grant approved. So it's a 3-year grant for research on the effects of black soldier fly larva frass on flax. And so we're going to be looking at a couple different variables. We'll have a randomized trial, and we'll have, I think, an open house field day type thing year 2, just to demonstrate what we're doing. So that is super exciting, and it'll probably just go in this field back here because why not? It's there. The compost is just right here. The larva in there, it's all right here. So, and then along the lines of this here barn, so another big project, which was an investment. We just finally got this barn wired for its own power, and that's huge. I've been operating with one circuit running from the house to the barn. So what that means is I have to run and unplug one thing to plug in another thing, and we've had to run the generator to run the grinder. It's just but my mom's cousin knew a guy who does solar installation, and I reached out to him. I'm not sure this is exactly the project he really wants to work on, but what I'm doing, I think, speaks to him. And so, he came up with a plan. We said, okay, sounds great. And because he does really focus on solar, I definitely need to go ahead and think, okay, in 5 years, maybe we do solar. We get solar on this barn roof, because that's kind of the plan. Like, that's kind of always been the plan, is to incorporate solar somehow. And I think now that he's familiar with this, and like he did this work, he did it. His footprint is here already. So I would love to be able to call him up and say, okay, let's talk solar. And part of the problem with thinking about solar right now is I have no idea what I need. I have been working so conservatively with this finite amount of power from the house that I'm not even sure what I'm capable of. So, in the beginning it was a fun challenge. Like, okay, let's see what you can do with very little. Like, And I really started off with like duct tape and zip ties and tarps. Like that is literally what I used for basic infrastructure. And you know, you get to a point where you just can't grow. You can't grow with that. And I need to grow. This needs to grow. This needs to take over. This needs to take over more than just like my brain. So now we can start looking at what I'm using and realistically what I can accomplish. And it's no longer like proof of concept. We've graduated from proof of concept. The concept is proved. We got it. Now let's take it. Let's take it a little bit further here. So there's that. Cool. We got power. And then some crappy stuff that's happened this summer that's just kind of been wearing me down. Just cumbersome stuff. So my van was hit. It was parked on the street in the middle of the summer, and it's still a thing that is hanging in bureaucratic purgatory, for lack of a better word or term. It's all sitting in the great state of Pennsylvania's governmental whatever. So the van was technically totaled because it's got so many miles on it and it's so old, but it still runs. It's really just kind of a cosmetic thing, and I want to get the dang thing fixed because I don't know what else I could get. It's just going to be another unknown. I've already put a ton of maintenance work into this thing. I knew who owned it before me, so like I have that to reference if I have to. And I'm in no position to just like go to the car store and say, yes, I would like one of these, please. Oh, it'll be $55,000. Okay, here's a bag of $55,000. Like, I can't do that. I'm not. So, long story short, I'm waiting on my certificate of salvage so I can take that to the mechanic at the auto body shop and he can fix it. He's got the parts. He's probably tripping over the parts every day, waiting on Pennsylvania, and I'm waiting on Pennsylvania, and whatever. I will put this out here though. I would love to find like a retired ambulance, paint that thing bright green, and that could be my new hauling vehicle. I love that idea. I just don't know where to find one of those. And how many buckets could I fit in that? Like so many buckets. So there's that. And then some other just life stuff that comes up that you have to deal with. There was an illness in the family and really impacted my workforce. So I had to work around that. But my cousin's son came home from college and he had said, hey, if you need help, just let me know. He didn't have anything lined up for the summer. So I had known that. And when it came down to an emergency, I reached out to him and I said, look, I know it's short notice, but if you could help me, you would be like the man. So he showed up and he loved it. At least that's what I heard, that he loved it. He had a great time and really fast, efficient, didn't get grossed out. And I had him dump one of the grossest buckets I think I've ever encountered here. And honestly, I think it's still in isolation because it was disgusting. And he's the one that dumped that bucket. So good job. You kept coming back. And he said he'd come back in December when he's on winter break. So I must have done something right. And, along those lines, I will say I've had some really great conversations with young people. The student that's doing the research, she has phenomenal energy, like super exuberant, excited, really wants to see solutions instead of like the same old. Oh my gosh, it's refreshing. It's so refreshing. And I had someone reach out to me sometime in the winter, and I sometimes get these requests like, hey, can you help me figure out how to set this up in my location? And I'll be honest, I don't love those requests because I don't have the magic bullet. I don't, silver bullet, magic, whatever. I don't know what the turn of phrase is. I've been awake since 4:40. I don't have the solutions, and every place is different. Every borough, every city, every township, every state, province, country, everyone has something different. And so when I get those requests, I just kind of like sit on it for a second, and I'm like, I can't wrap my head around this request right now, and I probably have ignored you. And for that, I'm sorry, but I still don't know how to help myself. I still don't know how to help myself, so I don't know if I can help you. And essentially, that's kind of what I told her when I got this email request for, hey, can you help me figure out how to set up my own operation? And she came out and did a tour, and I had a very honest conversation with her. Pennsylvania is hard to do this stuff. It's so hard. They deliberately make it hard. If you tell me otherwise, I'm going to say, no, you're wrong, because unless you've tried to do it, you don't know what you're talking about. And that's another issue I have is, I don't consider myself to have a business mind because businesses feel so predatory, and I'm trying very hard to keep this mission driven, like purpose driven, mission driven. And we are not set up to support those things at all. And I feel like I'm fighting a lot, and it gets exhausting. And anytime I've sought out information from like any type of business hive mind or consultation or guru, I just feel like you just want my money, or you just are wasting my time. And it's been a vast crapshoot, if you will, of advice. And I generally get ticked off by it, and I don't want to follow it because I think you're wrong. I think you're wrong. So, this young woman came out, and she was excited and ambitious and driven. Just all the things that I've really kind of not lost, but it's drifted away from me a little bit. So, in summary, everything that's kind of happened this summer, except for the van is a sore spot, has been just incremental steps towards validation. And I've always kind of felt like you can't expect the universe to take you seriously until you start taking yourself seriously. But it's not just a jump from like you and then universe and like everything just explodes open for you. Like, it's ripples. So, ripples of validation. So the garden, the electricity, the young people that have kind of entered into my realm, the ongoing support from my family and my customers, they keep coming back and they keep buying compost because they said their gardens this year are amazing. Just ripples of validation. I feel like that's the name of this chapter in my book, my really boring book about my road to sustainability and circularity via bugs. So yeah, it's been a hot summer, and exhausting. A lot of things happened, but I did a lot of things. It's progress, even though it feels so slow. Like, this is just like a ripple. This is like the second or third ripple. Ripples are circles. The circles will get bigger. So that's where I've been. That's what I've been up to. Still doing about 800 to 1,000 pounds of food scraps and wasted food a week. Looking forward to more, because I can do more. I also ordered a new grinder, and I get a ton of questions about that grinder, so I'll do like an unboxing video for that. I've never done an unboxing video before, so get ready for that, I guess. And anything else? I think you're caught up. I think that's everything. So there you have it. I'll post a video of the tour of the garden because I love the garden so much. And it's just a wonderful little oasis here. So on that note, keep it circular. As always, thank you for watching. Thank you for your patience, because it's been a minute. And let's see what the next ripples bring. Not helpful, Reba. Not helpful. Can you just sit down here? Just hang out there. Just hang out there. You're fine. I don't even know when. So this young person... Reba.